All right, everyone, welcome back to the Sooner Surge YouTube channel. I'm joined by Hunter, and today we're going to be coming on here talking some Oklahoma football recruiting. We're going to talk about their recent commitment they picked up this week from four-star wide receiver Zion Kearney out of Hightower, Texas. And then we'll talk about maybe who's next, some commitment dates that have been set, and then, some top fives we saw tonight. And so, Hunter, let's just get it started with Zion Kearney. I know you watched the film. You talked about it over on Surge Sports Network. Your full thoughts on it. Let's just play the film and tell everyone a little bit about what Zion Kearney brings.
Yeah, he's a 6'3" receiver, about 195, and really, I haven't seen a single thing that in his highlights that makes me concerned in any way. Here, he's going to be able to get a foot ahead, make the jump ball catch. I mean, that's just what he does. What I really like is I think here he's going to run a post route. Yep, he is. He's able to split the safeties, and then it's just over from that point. Once he gets past you, but 9 times out of 10, you're not catching him. That time, he goes all the way to the house for a big play. And, I mean, just again, he's on the outside, again, jump ball catch, down inside the 5, first and goal for the offense. So he's seen a lot of this is what really impressed me here is on the tunnel screen, his ability to run into the inside hash, cut back out, and then a 78-yard score. That it's just not many guys his frame are going to be able to do that. He has the speed and really just the playmaking ability. It's not like he's playing any slouch of football either. He's playing 6A football in the state of Texas. It's the best of the best, and he's making these guys look like clowns out there. I'm really excited for him, and it just Emmett Jones, he doesn't miss. There's no other way to put it. This dude, best hire, honestly. Is it too early to say that? Like, we're only 3 months into the Emmett Jones era, and you already got him. You got KJ Daniels, and you got pretty much everything you need.
Thompson?
Yeah, Brendan Thompson, another one. That guy's running a 10.18. That's literally he's so fast. Tyreek Hill can't even run that. His 200-meter is Texas 3A state record of all time, Texas. So that's pretty impressive. Emmett Jones is he's going to be able to find all the talent you need. That's what I've really liked is he's not only going for one type of a receiver. He's getting the speed guy. He's getting the guy with the big frame, and he's getting the playmaker. And sometimes it's all in one.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later on who's maybe next, and I think Jones will get another one this next week. But we're talking April 28th, and Emmett Jones might already have to shift his focus to another position.
Yeah. And that's what they're going to need. There's a couple of big name players in the state of Texas that it's not going to be an easy battle, but it's one we can win, and Emmett Jones is going to be the guy to win it for us.
Yeah, so Kearney becomes the 6th player to officially announce their commitment to Oklahoma, along with Michael Hawkins, Jeremiah Newcomb, KJ Daniels, Isaiah Autry, Jaden Hardy, who did announce on last Saturday. So who's going to be next? That's the biggest question. We're going to talk 2024, but to talk 2025, Grayson Harris will be committing on May 1st, and I think there's a really, really good chance. I'll go ahead and say it. I do think Grayson Harris will be a Sooner on May 1st, and he'll be the second commitment in the 2025 class.
Yeah, that's one thing I've really liked is Emmett Jones gets here, and we're starting to ramp up on the next year. Not as an insult to anyone. It was just like this class 2024 got started slow. It wasn't till I guess last month when Jeremiah Newcomb committed. He was the first commit, and we're already in for the 2025 class. And when we're sitting here on Monday, we're going to have 2 commits. So and I think a lot of that is really Emmett Jones's presence from the staff. That he knows Texas high school football. He was the guy for years. He was one of the best coaches. He has all the connections you need. He's a very likable guy, and he's just going to tell it to the players straightforward.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I mean, Jones is coming for Brandon Hall's position and best recruiter in the conference. Get to Brandon Hall defending that title here pretty soon. But to talk about another commitment date that was announced. Xavier Robinson said he's going to commit on the 10th. However, that tweet was later deleted, but I did hear he's going to take a visit to Oklahoma on the 15th. And then it seems like it's an Oklahoma-Iowa State battle, but Oklahoma is definitely in the lead as of right now. Now, we know in recruiting things can change, but I do like Oklahoma's chances to land Xavier Robinson. Hunter, you're a little bit more familiar with Robinson's game. Can you kind of tell us about what he would bring to the table if he was DeMarco Murray's first edition in 2014?
Yeah, Xavier Robinson goes to Carl Albert. They've won 17 state championships. They won their 17th last year. They've had some of the best backs in Oklahoma high school football history. And of all the backs they've ever had, they had J.D. Reynolds. He was a Sooner great H-back fullback for the Sooners in the early 2000s. You know who has the most rushing yards in a single season?
Robinson?
Yes. Yeah, as a junior, he broke that record. I saw your text earlier. You were like, reminds me a lot of Ramon J. Stevenson. Yes, that is a great comp for him. He's a big guy. You look at him, and he looks like some of these defensive ends we're recruiting. And this dude's able to run the football and run it really well. He's able to catch the ball out of the backfield, I've seen him hurdle some guys. He's one I really like, and I've always been on the big, you got to win the in-state stuff. Xavier Robinson is one that he's not highly rated. And it's just that's sometimes what happens for whatever reason. Even though Carl Albert is one of the best teams in the state year in and year out, they're kind of overlooked because they're a 5A school. But DeMarco's got on him early. I'm curious on the J.D. Reynolds connection. J.D. Reynolds was at Carl Albert coaching. Now he's not. He's coaching elsewhere for some like semi-pro football. But he is one of the most he's very connected with the program. So I wonder where he factors in. If he's kind of like sitting it out, like going to let him do his own thing, or if he's telling him like, hey, I've went through all this before. I was 15 years ago. I was in the same building. I was here, and OU was recruiting me, and I kind of had to take that position where, yeah, you could probably go to another school and be a bigger guy, like the back there, or you can kind of stick it out at OU and make your name for yourself in another way. It's just Iowa State they're in a good position on them because they're able to offer them straight up, you're going to be our guy.
Yeah.
You can't do that because there's another back in this class, and then look at the backs we have right now.
Four of them that potentially could be here for another 3 years.
Yeah, you have Barnes, Sawchuk, Hicks, and Smothers. So, and then you have Megway on that list. Like, there's just so many guys in that running back room. So for him, it's going to be a little bit of a uphill battle to see the field. But the biggest thing with him is that he's not going to be the guy where you have to have him in your traditional back role. There's going to be packages. He would be a power back. He would be the goal line back. He would be even the guy to kind of take some short passes at times. Like we've used fullbacks before, not with Levy. It's been different, but historically we've used them probably better than any other school in the country. And that's kind of where I could see him transitioning to, because the guys we've had, they've all been great, but none of them were as big as him. They were all in the shorter end, and Xavier Robinson's 6'3"?
Yeah. And it's interesting because at the moment, Oklahoma does lead for Xavier Robinson, but Iowa State is not out of it by any means. So we will keep you updated with how that recruitment is going, and maybe he does end up committing on the 10th. I don't think it's really looking like that thus far. But in other news, running back room related for the 2024 class, Caden Durham was falling to LSU, I think, earlier this week. And don't overreact to that. Oklahoma still very much has the reins on the Durham recruitment. So I would not put too much into what Steve Wiltfong thinks is going to happen with Caden Durham to LSU.
Yeah, with Durham, biggest thing I've noticed with him is he cares about track. He's one of the best track athletes in the state of Texas, and every school that even has a chance of landing him has offered him in track. OU's offered him in track. Who also has his LSU, and they're currently ranked 5th in the country. So I think that's kind of what the movement is that people will hear how much he cares about track and that he's going to want to run it in college. So he would also want to go to a top program for that as well.
Too.
Yeah. It's just he was at the spring game. That was a weird one. I'm curious on what Fong heard on that, because to be at the spring game and then to get a crystal ball on Monday to LSU is kind of a weird combination.
Well, and here's the thing: this is DeMarco Murray's number one priority thus far, and
Yeah,
I'm
and it should be. It
and
should
and anyone who's DeMarco Murray's number one priority, I would think Oklahoma would have a very good chance of landing him, and that's kind of where it is with Caden Durham. It kind of seems like it's heading in that direction, but it's not over at all. LSU's not gonna quit pursuing, but yeah, talking about another guy who was in town for the spring game, we have Michael Boganowski out of Junction City, Kansas. This is a guy who's probably going to end up being the number one player in Kansas. You look at him on 24/7 Sports, he's listed as a linebacker. However, it is Brandon Hall who is doing the recruitment on Boganowski, and they want him as a safety to go along with Jaden Hardy. I mean, this guy, he's a pretty solid player, pretty underrated. He's going to climb up in the rankings. So is very much in the lead with him, and I think we're nearing I think you could put him on commitment watch in about the 3 to 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, something along that line. It does seem like that's where it's headed with Boganowski right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about the staff is that it seems like, I mean, this is only our second year to really get a gauge on anything, but they're going to go after the guy that's kind of the overlooked guy. They're a low rated recruit, but really right now a rating on a recruit does not matter that much.
Yeah.
We're 7 months away from signing day. That's when the final rankings are going to come out, is right after signing day. And there's going to be a lot of guys, I think, that we get that are going to take a pretty big jump, maybe a star jump, or if not a star jump, at least a good chunk of halfway through that star rating area of a jump by the time signing day is passed.
Well, and this would be another big win for Oklahoma State of Kansas. Like Jaron Kanik, and obviously they'll do their work in the Kansas City area for sure. But yeah, talking about it again, Devon Mitchell drops his top 5 schools. I don't remember all the schools that are on it because, frankly, I do not care. I saw Oklahoma's on it, and I think that's the only school that matters right now. Oklahoma, very much. I think that one is going to be one that you can go ahead and lock it in. Sharpie it down. Devon Mitchell more than likely will end up a Sooner, and I think that was done ever since Michael Hawkins committed to Oklahoma. And then you would expect him to reclass, and I'm pretty sure that'll be done by the end of May.
Yeah, if you look at the Hayes tweet, he always says what year they're in.
Yeah, he did it.
Mitchell, he did not. That was not by mistake. It's not official yet, but he's going to reclass. And that's really a huge get, because you look at the position of the tight end room right now, and we're struggling. There's no depth. I mean, Blake Smith was out there playing in a cast, caught a touchdown pass. So you need that guy. And when you're going to be able to get the top tight end in his current class, he won't be that in 24, but he'll still be up there.
He'll be up there.
Yeah, he'll be high up there. That's where you want to go. It's much better than having to settle for a low 3-star just to fill that position.
Yeah, so we've hit on it. Robinson, Boganowski, Devon Mitchell, probably the 3 that right now I feel the best about. And then you have, your Joseph Jonah Ajonye, who you also got to feel really good about where that's at the moment. You got to feel good about, just a lot of people along the defensive line. And then, you got Caden Durham. Feel pretty well about that. And we haven't mentioned it. Brian Wesco, I feel very, very confident that Brian Wesco will be a Sooner, regardless of what happens with the Oklahoma women's soccer coach situation that is going on there.
Yeah, hopefully that gets sorted out. That would kind of expedite this announcement, if you would say. It's interesting on soccer playing that big of an impact in Oklahoma football recruiting, but that is Peyton Bowen's girlfriend actually decommitted this week. So
yeah, I wonder if she probably just come back if the coach is.
Yeah, I think that's more of so she can talk to other programs out there till an announcement's made on the new coach.
Yeah, but I think for this week we kind of hit on it all. Next week I think we'll come back on here. We'll have another commitment to talk about, and then we'll have more news on the Xavier Robinson situation, or where things are at timeline-wise. But, yeah, this was a good recruiting update, good recruiting week for the Sooners.
Really good week.
Yeah, and so you add your highest rated recruit in the class so far that's publicly announced their commitment. So, yeah, that's going to go and wrap it up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you get notified when we post more of these, all kinds of content on Surf Sports Network. And, yeah, Boomer.